Jeez. How's it going, everybody? If you're online watching on YouTube, um, go to our Luma calendar, find the events. You can join us by Google Meet. Currently, I don't have the Restream app on my phone, so I'm not monitoring any YouTube chat. But feel free to join us in Telegram. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Is there music that's too loud by any chance?
There's never music too loud.
I don't even know if you can hear it over Google Meet, but it should be playing in the background on the stream.
I don't hear it. I have Lost in the background right now. Oh,
How's it been going?
just trying to recover. I was pretty sick over the weekend. Sorry if you had meetings and I missed them.
Oh, that's okay. I'm still doing stuff. I've been learning Restream and then trying to get things right with my OBS.
Okay.
I have two different OBS apps. One's like a little bit lighter, made for basically more for not really anything too complex. And it crashed, so I've had to make adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Did you say, what is it? OBS or OVS?
OBS.
OBS. Hold on.
Oh, this is gonna create an infinity mirror. For now, there we go. All right, so we got two things today that we can do. Yeah, we can go over some DeFi stuff and talk portfolios, since we just had a nice little pullback.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got positions I can check on and show how I do DeFi, and we can check out a couple of the virtuals. The other thing we can do, so Fleek, which is a decentralized hosting platform for applications. It's Web3, so you can sign in your account with your MetaMask or probably your Coinbase wallet also.
Mm-hmm.
But they've had, and Jason, we've been watching this for a while. They've had the ability to create just a basic agent and deploy it on their site, but you really couldn't do anything with it if you weren't in like a command prompt. And I got tired of futzing around with command line interface, but they have updates. They have updates, and they've developed a lot of different plugins so that your agent can actually interact with like different blockchains, different Web2 social media platforms, generate images, all kinds of different plugins. And I'm assuming they now also have a better interface for interacting with your agent, or there's a plugin that just gives you the interface to interact and manage your agent. So it's up to you. We can create a character, create an agent, and you can go through that process and kind of see what it's like with no code. I'm hoping we should get through all this without any code. I've done it before. It's just now they got more options in the way they do it, and so it's kind of up to you.
So that's interesting. An agent. So you're thinking about creating an agent.
Yep, it'd be a social media
Um,
intern for our little ecosystem.
yeah, cool. Um, so I like that idea. And in creating an agent, are you recording?
Yeah, it's streaming.
Okay. Because I'll probably want to review it later. If we do an agent, that'd be really cool because I've never seen one done, and I want to see what's applicable to. Because I hope to, bring entities to the table that we all could dive into and help, and in turn benefit. Right?
Yeah,
We could reap the benefits. So
yeah.
yeah,
If you haven't
I had
seen
some
this
killer
content
ideas.
before, it's um, definitely worth you know understanding because no
Yes,
matter where you create or how you create an agent or assistant or whatever chatbot or application, you're gonna basically have to go through the same steps,
copy.
right? And so uh, this should give us, yeah,
Yeah.
the ability to
Listen,
learn
everything
their tools.
everything's new.
So
So I'm gonna put in my notes, create an agent. Okay.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and I can share the notes with you that
Yeah.
we have because I'll drop
Man,
it.
you guys got so many different tools you use. I am like spinning just trying to keep up or just be engaged with you guys.
No, I get it, and
Like,
whoa,
see that? Look, I'm infinity now.
yeah, that's because I'm sharing my screen and running OBS on the same thing.
You're
So
funny.
in Telegram, which is our main place, I'm gonna drop the docs to the notes so that other
All
folks
right.
can see it too, and then I don't have to do any weird
Who,
thing.
who else do we have on streaming? Do
Uh,
we have a crowd?
well, do what?
How many people do we have viewing?
It's just me and you.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Cool.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
nice.
I will
Jeez, did I put
close. Let me
I think I
drag.
actually tried to download Telegram to my local. Let me see if it's here in my downloads. Uh, God, man, I got so much stuff to do. Yeah, here.
Cool. All right, and then I'm gonna do this one last time, and if anybody else wants to join after this,
Now, where are you posting?
but
There you go.
all right. So
Going deep.
yeah, and you can take notes on those notes,
Okay.
and then you can just copy the doc if you want. The main thing is that these notes get are eventually always going to become part of the knowledge base of an agent.
So, and I assume that you've already built this in an AI environment where you can just run it and it configures everything.
Well, so as far as running things on my local machine, I have a laptop and
Hmm.
I downloaded the Eliza client or the Eliza build from the Eliza OS and ran it, and it
Hmm.
took an hour just to like reply to a simple kind of hello statement because it was doing all the compute on my laptop.
Well, you need an NVIDIA chip or something?
Well, I'm just saying,
That's
most of the time, your interactions are with the AI or agent or whatever. It's using like a cloud based server. I deployed and ran the whole thing on my local machine. And so it was using my processors to answer my questions instead of relying on an outside LLM or cloud server.
Yeah, which I was going to ask you, Jason. Jason wanted me to put together a Docker VM on AWS. He didn't specify what purpose for or anything like that. I haven't even delved into it and checked pricing and this, that, and the other, but I know I can get a free version from Nutanix. I don't know if you know anything about them, but
So they're just to answer your unknown
yep.
question real quick, and I'll put these up in the notes, this link. Um, so this anything LLM, it has the desktop and anything cloud. Um, when I downloaded uh, I think I downloaded both of these, and
Mhm.
I got an application that you can get just the raw files that you run and deploy on your own machine, but you can also get an application that runs it. So you get a very basic, simple interface. It's all
Like a
ran.
thin client. Yeah, it's like a thin client.
Yeah, and so it uses it can use the cloud to do all the computation. So
Yeah.
it's basically, depending on what you download and install, it's running on your local machine, but it's then whenever it needs the LLM, it goes to the cloud. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it allows you to have a private environment, and so something like that, essentially, that we can put in a Docker container, create our own application, and then we can design that application, that smart application that will have a couple agents, couple assistants, probably, you'll download things from our library to put in it, like, but if you can just imagine, at first it's like the 3-win onboarding agent application, and you download it, and it's the anything LLM, application in, but
Okay.
we're branding it and then creating our own application, I guess. So we're
So
designing it
we,
because
yeah,
it
so we're
gives you
putting
just
the
like a
app.
bare bones template.
Yeah, so we're building the app and maintaining it in a Docker container in the cloud. Is the gist of it. And then we're doing all the modification locally, right?
You would probably. I don't quite understand what a Docker container is. I know less about what you know, so. But this is,
I highly doubt that. You
well,
guys are
maybe
in
in a
your
different
world.
area, but once,
Right.
right, once you say Docker container, I'm like, okay, I think what that means is it's a container for an app, and um,
It is.
he
Yeah.
has
It
privacy
is.
concerns, but your
Yep.
first like MVP is probably going to be, completely cloud based. You download something on your app, and it's basically a chatbot for
So help me with
when
the
you're,
acronym MVP. You guys use that a lot. I think, a most valuable player. So what is MVP to you?
yeah, I could be using the wrong acronym.
No.
Basically, most viable product, or minimal
Most
viable
valuable
product.
products.
Minimal viable
Minimal viable.
product.
Because you guys use you in some of the conversations, you guys have used that, and I'm like, okay, I know there's you know, what's the word? I mean, I know there's cynicism there. You guys are talking in another language, basically, but you know,
Yeah,
um,
what? Yeah,
right?
no,
It's
especially
okay
with
though.
Web
I
3,
pick up.
especially with Web 3. Um,
Yeah, man, you can get a headache watching all that. From my standpoint,
yeah.
it's
So,
all cool stuff, but man, I'm like, man, I'm just trying to put the pieces together. I'm a quick learner. Don't worry. So, like, all of this can be put into a Docker container, right? All these files, all these folders, all that. It's basically just a storage repository. Um, Dockers is what is used to manage the container. and the container sits in AWS's cloud infrastructure, and the container is also replicated across all the data centers. So, and the privacy is of the utmost, right? So we can make it private, or you can make portions of it public. You have full control over that. Yeah, it's basically the ability to use AWS's infrastructure and cloud. I mean, just think of it from your standpoint. Hey, it's just a cloud environment where we can put stuff privately, and it's replicated. So if San Jose falls into the ocean, you've got backup, right? So
Yeah.
I need,
So
and I'll go ahead.
so you can imagine that we develop, let's say, two agents that demonstrate the the basics of what we're going to want them to do. Specifically with myra.fund, it's to manage the communication in the community. Okay, it's like the office assistant that helps with onboarding. It helps track call, communications in the network because agents have memory.
Hmm.
And so
Now, is this
yeah,
for
I
our,
should show you. I
is
should
this
show you
for
meme
our
coin.
benefit? Is this for our benefit, or is it for our benefit and the group's benefit?
Well, the basic is applies to all projects.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
The the
So we're going to
it's
manage each
easier to
individual
demonstrate.
project.
It's
Yeah, go
easier to
ahead.
demonstrate something with one project than it is with 20 projects. But he's got 20
Right,
quasi-related projects, right?
right.
So
Well,
myra.fund being
mhm,
the 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 closest community project with a developing business
right.
plan,
Yep.
it is a great place to like demonstrate what can we do. And
So
very
that's just the product. Yeah, that's the first product, right?
yeah, and the main thing is that you have people that are going to be subscribing to our information, our community information. And our community is geared towards finding a crypto, learning how to custody your crypto assets so that you can move some of those profits into an IRA, your own, and custody your own funds in your own IRA. And there's only like six options out there right now. There's no um
IRAs meaning crypto IRAs.
yeah, an individual retirement account. But this
Mm-hmm.
applies to people, even this is useful for people even if they want to have their normal IRAs, but for people that may have crypto assets or want to have crypto assets and they want to self custody them and have those assets in an IRA because they are
The
long
tax.
term. Yeah, they're
Yep.
long term investments. They're not meme. You don't put meme coins in your IRA because you're you're looking for long term assets to put in your IRA, right? You're thinking about your
Right.
retirement. You
Right. Exactly. Which no one has.
Yeah, well, you take profits from your meme coins or your trading or your gambling, and then you move those
Right.
profits into your retirement account into more stable assets like Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's the
What's
main thing, is that's what our
so
community, that's our niche for the community, is solving that problem, onboarding people to, you know, think about retirement, and in particular crypto natives. And so there's two agents that we want to demonstrate. One is just the onboarding agent that can do all the onboarding and
now? Okay, let me stop you there for a second.
yeah,
Onboarding. Are you talking about going over? This is a prospectus of the fund itself and the people running it and how it's all put together. how we plan to, so on, uh, lack of better terms, incorporate.
All that. What the whole organization, your
Okay.
your secretary, your office agent, right? The person, the
Yeah.
one tool that you can always go to, ask questions to 24/7. It can answer, it can so remember
About IRAs, about
most chat
investing, IRAs, all that stuff. Go ahead.
most chatbots are looking for specific words in your question, right? Oh, they say
Mm-hmm.
travel, they must be wanting airline, or they say flying somewhere, so they must want airline tickets. Okay, but
Right.
your language models, your AI, understands
Right.
your whole sentence, right? So
Hmm.
when you actually ask it a question about IRAs, it can understand your whole sentence, and it also understands that there's common ways to talk about IRAs. So when
Mm-hmm.
it answers your question, it probably gives you more information than you want because it's like, here, you need to understand tax implications. What jurisdiction are you in? If you're not in the US, this really doesn't apply to you. It gives you this extra information because you gave it like a vague question. But it
Sure. A
actually,
similar, pretty much just like what Chat GPT would give you if you asked it a question about IRAs, right? Similar.
yes. Now, the difference is the reason why ChatGPT doesn't know anything about the My IRA community,
Okay.
right? That's why it makes sense for us to develop our own agent.
Mm-hmm.
It can it can use the OpenAI language model, okay, and be ChatGPT. Like I have three different custom GPTs that I've created that are all different, and they have the information. So your agent understands the company resources, right? So I can give it access to my Google Docs. If I can give it access to my Google Docs, it knows every single meeting. It knows when every single meeting is. It can tell you all the transcripts and the summaries of each meeting after they happen. It can tell you what meetings are coming. Um, it can search through the company docs and answer questions, and
That's powerful. Yeah.
right. So, and
Does it
that's
go? Will it go external too, or is it primarily within
you
our
set that.
organization?
No, you set that. That a way to think about it too is like agents are kind of more external than internal. Assistants are more internal than external. Like if you just want to know about, I don't need to give you a chatbot that can answer the same questions about ChatGPT. So I actually might instruct my agent or assistant to
Assist. Yeah.
not answer any questions outside our business questions. I'm going to tell it to only use the knowledge base that I'm giving it. Now, it's going to have the same language model and reasoning for understanding how to interact with you to, get you the information that you're looking for. But
But
it's
it's reserved to what we put in it.
Yep. And
Okay.
as a community, an online community, online and locally based community as it grows, the ability to have that smart agent that can also instantly put you in contact with a human. Like you can just tell it, hey, if you're confused, call me. And then, right away, once the agent starts seeing that there's confusion or the person is frustrated because they keep typing in caps, it can just be like, oh, would you like to talk to so and so? And then it,
Mhm.
it could shoot me a text message or give me a call, like, right, so that's just to say,
What?
so onboarding is a task. It's a maintenance task. It's highly repetitive.
Mhm.
Anything you can train a high school student to do right now, you can train an agent to do. I dare say even a college student.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it all you have to do is know how to write out the instructions. Before you learn
Mm-hmm.
how to write out the instructions, you might as well learn how to write out the instructions that creates your agent. So that's what
So
we
it's
can do.
yeah. So you're basically, and I've done this too. I mean, this is goes back to my programming days where, um, I mean, this is training, right? You're training.
Well, we're creating
It,
first, but
yeah, you
first
go
you
through the
create.
motions. Yeah, you create all the, uh, step number one, step number two, step number three, right? You create all that, and then it's automated. You have
Yeah,
to get the
over
step.
time, your maintenance goes down, right?
Right.
Because it learns to do the tasks that you want it to do, and then the reason why you have multiple agents and stuff is because best practices is the more specific the task is, the better the agent will do it.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you ask an agent some questions and it doesn't have the answer locally. Recursively, it looks at another LLM that might find it. If that LLM doesn't find it, another one will.
Or, so what I actually have on, I can show you. Uh,
I hope this is as helpful for you too, knowing where I'm at in my educational on this stuff.
oh, no
It's
problem. Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's cool.
helps me learn how to explain it too, because like
Yeah,
I haven't been doing this for 2 years like everybody else. I've only I've been doing
really.
I've been doing blockchain, but the AI stuff has been going on for 2 years, and like the developments that are really that people are catching on to and learning now. Um, but all this I've learned in the last 2 months. So
Wow, that's cool. Well, and
yeah,
don't be scared of DeepSeek. That's a bunch of bullshit.
I know
That
they're
is
gonna. I'm not.
go ahead.
So this is what my demo website. It has a lot of websites have that little chat bubble in the bottom right hand corner. You know
Yep.
what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So if you pop open that chat bot in the top left hand corner, you can see this chat bot's name is Elliot. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Elliot's job is to route the its only job right now, keeping it simple, is to route the conversation to the right assistant that will answer the question. Because I'm got a assistant that knows about the projects, I got an assistant that knows about NFTs, and I got an assistant that knows about markets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are essentially three different knowledge bases. And so, in order to manage, right, what's coming in, I have to have an agent that can understand the question that you ask it and then
Mm-hmm.
route that question to
The
the
appropriate
right
assistant.
assistant, right? And then you talk to the assistant. So you can see here that what I have is just right now, Elliot is just directly routing to Winnie right out of the gate. And you can tell it's
Because
Winnie.
it hasn't learned enough locally.
I haven't. This is the next step is routing to multiple agents, but I want to prove and validate that I'm actually routing to my assistant. And you can see that because it routes right out of the gate to Winnie, no matter what you ask it, that Winnie replies with the initial welcome message, which is she always starts with her name, Winnie. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I know that this is actually Winnie the assistant talking and not Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ask it questions and it can pull out links, and I've uploaded files, and so it can answer questions based meeting notes. It can ask
Okay.
some questions on some meeting notes. So that's just real simple, but it's a foundation. But if you this all started with understanding, because in here you have to essentially create multiple. It allows you, the application I use allows you to create agents and assistants really quick. um,
Mm-hmm.
And so it helps to know how you create them kind of from scratch. And there's
Mm-hmm.
two sites that we use to introduce people to creating your first agents that you can run, that will post on your Twitter, um, that you can play with, that you can train, you can delete, you can create another one. And one of those is
Yep.
me.fun, which the agents in the Telegram group
Mm-hmm.
are me.fun. They are ELIZA based agents that this website helps you create. And then Fleek is the other one, where which we're going to get into, and it basically uses the same character creation process, except
Okay.
this is a Fleek is a decentralized Web3 solution that allows us to store everything on IPFS, which is decentralized file sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me.fun, it is hosted on their website. You know, they're in charge of when their website's down, your thing's down. Um, and it has limited options. But they both use the ELIZA, and I just posted today. It's a 2-hour interview with the creator that created ELIZA. So I would
Cool.
recommend falling asleep listening to it. It's a really good interview, and
Now, where did you post that?
in
In
Telegram
Telegram?
general, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there is a ton. I'm glad you did that. I have a lot of homework to do. I got to go through all that stuff, and I have time right now to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to start listening to all the. You've sent out a lot of really good information, Kickstarter stuff. So,
dude.
yeah.
And this is every day. Like, and then the blog post that I wrote and put in Telegram earlier today was just based off of the links and the names that the dude talked about in the 2-hour video. So all the information that's in the 2-hour video, there's an additional like 24 hours of information just in catching up on the projects that that person knows about. But it's worth understanding the history behind ELIZA.
Hmm.
It's not the only solution, but if you resonate with some of the things that Shaw Magic says in the interview, that's kind of the reason why we're going, wanting to start building using the ELIZA framework. Their community is doing all kinds of development. They're creating plugins. Um, they're big into open source. They're really big into, um, the common person having access to this stuff. you know,
Hmm.
um,
That's cool.
yeah. So they got a really good ethos. They understand what's going on, and they share everything. And I'm in their Discord. I buy their tokens. Uh,
That's cool. So, is the name Shaw?
Shaw Magic something. It's in the Telegram general. You'll see the
Yep.
YouTube video.
Okay. Telegram link. Yeah, I'm just making a note of that.
Yeah. Well,
That'll be
let's get
cool. Yeah,
started
got a
so
lot
that
of stuff to go.
yeah, let's get started so that you see this, and
Hmm. Yeah.
we can stop and slow down as we go. But
Hmm.
so essentially what we're doing is we're creating the character file for our agent. The character file is the personality, the behavior, and the knowledge of that character. And you can update the knowledge anytime you update its knowledge base. And your knowledge base is just a database somewhere. It could be a Google Docs repository. You can manually by hand add to the database. This MeFun site, it's what I have to do is I actually have to manually add in, go edit the character file and then, just add to the base. But we're gonna start with a template.
Hmm.
I gotta log in with my wallet. And with me.fun, you don't have to pay for anything um, to use their free version, but if you want to deploy the Fleek agent, you have to pay for the minimum service from Fleek in
Okay.
general, which isn't much, but I mean, they are managing the hosting for you essentially because they're setting it all up on IPFS.
Hmm.
But so we're going to start with a template. We're going to use the C3PO template. Um, and so we're going to rename it
From.
C3PK root because this is going to be a kangaroo.
Okay.
Um, and
You're
so,
funny.
right. And the reason why I've already gotten this far is because I needed an image for when I created the event to look at this stuff. But so what if I go to the notes real quick, basically what I did was I created a prompt to create some images, and
Hmm.
some of these images, we're probably not going to use any images in this, but I wanted to start
Hmm.
developing the character. And yeah,
Hmm.
it's hard for computers to do kangaroo characters, so I love testing their ability to do kangaroo characters because
Do
uh,
they do their mouths move or anything like that, or is it just show the
not yet.
picture?
This is just a
Uh,
static picture.
right.
But it is a very detailed prompt that creates this picture, right? Normally people would just go in and say, and this is how I started. I said, give me a
That's kind
kangaroo.
of so you typed that whole thing out yourself?
I'll show you exactly what I did real quick. So this is what I do when I
That
start.
is a trip.
Oh yeah, check this out. So I started with this. So the original character description in Fleek for C3PO, it's using as a language model, it's using the Open API language model, which you can choose which language model to use. I have an Open AI. I can get subscriptions, so I can get API keys. So I can also get a API key from OpenRouter. Um, but we'll stick with OpenAI for now.
Now those keys, where do you get the keys at?
When you subscribe to OpenAI's platform, they give you the
Okay.
ability to download an API key because when you're using their language model, their computers are running, right? So there's a
Yeah.
cost. You
Okay.
cannot avoid the cost to do anything substantial on any of these platforms because they
Yeah.
charge you for your GPU.
So do people share their keys?
Well, you can. Some communities have keys that they share that they
Oh,
pay,
that's interesting.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
now, but so, anyways, down here, so when you use their C3PO template, it generates
Hmm.
automatically a bio for you. And so you can see this is the three traits that they use to kind of describe C3PO. Is a protocol droid fluent in over 6 million forms of communication, extremely knowledgeable and proper, always eager to help while maintaining strict protocol, proper etiquette, somewhat dramatic, but ultimately reliable and loyal. Okay, now you can add more to that. Um, but so I took that description, except for the first one here, and
Now,
I
what
put
about the supported client, real quick? You had supported client there.
yeah. We'll get to that in just a sec. I want to show you
All right.
how
Sounds good.
I so I use this, and then I went to Deep GPT, and I asked Deep GPT to please make suggestions on how to improve my image prompt to create a sketch of the robotic kangaroo. And then I gave it the traits that it also has a, a pencil pocket. You can see here it's knowledgeable, anxious, futuristic, but stylish. and then it tells me how it decides. Like, check this out. This is what deep GPTs.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'll kind of read it. All right, the user is working on image prompt. The user, me. This is, it tells you this is what it's thinking, so that it can generate my prompt. I can go back and say, no, you're thinking about this part all wrong. Think about it this way, and then it'll reassess how it was thinking and then generate you a new prompt. It says the user is working on an image prompt, wants to create a character. Let me start by understanding their detailed query. Blah, blah, blah. They mentioned customizing agents and testing open source alternatives. So, in my custom instructions for how Deep GPT should interact with me, I've given it instructions about what I do in these AI projects. So, it knows every time I go to it the kind of things I'm working on. Let that sink in.
Is that private stuff? I mean, is that
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they may know, but it doesn't, like, this isn't the final solution. This is just like, I don't even care about that because I just want to see if it works. Look, and
okay? Gotcha.
because remember, I earn Brave token for using a Brave browser. I earn pre-search for using a pre-search engine. Both I use right now my computer's using its extra GPU to mine cryptocurrency. Um, and so the ultimate solution that I'm going to go for is going to be a decentralized solution that pays for the access of my private interactions and sells that sells my private interactions for me instead of, whoever just taking it. But so, just to say that
Because what I
it
see here is the opportunity to have intellectual property, right?
uh what's your question?
Like if I had an idea and I ran the idea through here and tried to refine that idea, I'm just wondering how private it is from an IP standpoint, intellectual property.
Private,
When I say
because
IP, I'm
it
thinking,
it's
yeah,
fine because it's going to keep a record of that conversation and you're going to have a link to it. So you'll
okay.
have all the information you need to be able to say, no, look, this is my creative part. Yes, I use this tool to like develop a business plan, but in no way did this tool, um because, right, so like the images that I just created are
Mm-hmm.
com- completely the AI did it. They are non-copyrightable.
But, okay.
They are non-copyrightable. I would have to, you know, have a lot more base images. Now, if I give a bunch of images that I've hand drawn to the AI and then it generates a kangaroo for me, that could be
Mm-hmm.
IPable, but you would want to see very little in what the AI added to it. Like, I could just say, crisp it up, add this style, stick to my drawings as much as possible, you know, create me five
And then
different.
you have some IP.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
IPable, right? And then I could
Yeah.
say, now give me a 3D mesh blueprint of my 2D avatar here. And because you created then you have IP. But
Good. That's so cool, man.
it is. But to stay on track,
It's,
so
it sounds fun.
this is why this is way different than a chatbot, right? Because a chatbot is, when it sees your question, it's gonna try picking out just a couple words, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
identify and try to answer your question. This actually tells you, one, it's looking at our past history and my instructions. And then it
Right. It's getting to
says,
know you. Yeah.
yeah. And it says it needs to make sure the suggestion enhance the character's look and personality. They mentioned the kangaroo's slightly overweight with small breasts and big ears because it keeps
Mm-hmm.
generating like really skinny waist kangaroos with big breasts. And I'm like, I'm like, that's nice, but like by default, I don't want that to just be the types of images that I use. So
Right.
I gotta give it, I've noticed tendencies in Chat GPT when I ask it to make images. So I'm hoping to improve my prompt so that I get the result that I want. This is called prompt engineering. But so
Cool.
just to say, finally acknowledging their passion for AI. So it took all this into account and then regenerated this much more robust description and prompt, right? And so you'll
Hmm.
find that, right, the better you can tell the computer what to do, that's what it really needs, right? It needs to
Mm-hmm.
know context, and because it can understand human language, right? You can literally just kind of
You go nuts. Yeah.
you can go nuts really
That's
quick,
so cool.
right? And so
That is so cool.
I did the same thing in Quen 2.5 just released. Um and it created, I mean, deep GPT went a step further, right? And the difference in the
So
images,
this is different. Hold on. That's different than Fleek, right?
yeah, no, this
You went
Quen
to
is so
DC. Yeah.
look, I'm when I'm working, I got Chat GPT open, I got DeepSeek open, and I got Quen open. And every time, not every time, but when I put a question into Chat GPT, my question is, if I give DeepSeek the same question, what's it gonna say? If I give Quen the same question, what is it gonna say? And then which one gives me the
Yeah.
better, the better images, right? And
Interesting.
Chat GPT is using Dolly, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. See, and even so I went back through and had Deep GPT rewrite the prompt because it still didn't give me, because it still didn't give me an overweight, and I put the prompt into here, you know, that got me
Hmm.
one that was overweight, but still like really, and it's a fox now, not a kangaroo, right?
Where is it? Where is it getting? Is it drawing the image? I mean, where's it get? Are these images somewhere that it's getting?
It's creating them. So you can see this is,
Interesting.
so this is,
That's interesting.
yeah, this is the prompt from Deep GPT, right? Real nice,
That's
crisp,
cool. Yeah.
lot of detail. It got the big ears. It still didn't get overweight, but the boobs aren't, obscene.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then this was the prompt from Quen, which
Hmm.
still not overweight, but not, it just looks a little simpler, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
fine for right now because I'm just trying to create a bunch of images. I'm trying to experiment with prompts, and then I'm not selling anything right now. So, I don't have to spend a whole lot of time getting it perfect. I just want to see what happens when I ask the same question to different
Yeah.
engines,
Engines. Yeah.
right? And so,
And that's all just for the prompt, a
yeah,
picture.
that was just to give me the prompt of the image. But it generates, if one of the secrets is to, when you come up with a prompt, especially in the beginning, you're not going to write a very good prompt. You should always take that prompt and whatever LLM you're using, ask that LLM to improve your prompt and tell you what you want it to improve. You will see a huge difference in what it can do. Like, I
By
can
pasting the image in there and adding to it.
just the detail, like it needs if it doesn't have detail, it's going to make shit up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you really got
So
to
you're kind of
understand.
guiding it. You're just guiding it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of work in creating really good, and I test this in video, audio, and image. You can do this. You can tell a difference with the different tools, like what's better at creating good images, what's better at creating, um, the audio or the video that you're wanting to do. I'm always looking for
Hmm.
something to create really good music videos for me, and I just have not found it yet. But that's what I want to do is I want
So you
to,
do Chat GPT?
yeah.
What?
And see, and all these
You
over
use
here
Chat GPT?
on the left are custom GPTs.
Uh-huh.
Each I
That you
got
built?
No, this is Sora, which creates video. Uh, these couple I've built. Here's a one that's built and maintained by somebody else, and it knows a lot about governance and tokenomics. This is a GPT that helps me build websites. This is a GPT that helps me write Solidity contracts. This is a GPT that helps you write fictional content, which
Mm-hmm.
when you're creating meme stories and stuff about mechanical cupcakes, or sometimes I'll
Mm-hmm.
go to the fictional writer. This is basically it was one of the few fictional writers that were available. But
Mm-hmm.
anytime I need to create like a persona for an agent or an NFT, I go to the fictional writer because it's already tuned to write fiction. Like I don't go to it to do research on crypto,
Is
right?
there a list of these somewhere?
Yeah, if you open up your chat GPT, it says explore GPTs right here.
Okay.
But I got a GPT that's the global retirement advisor. This thing knows everything about IRAs.
No shit.
No shit. This is right here, like basically I go to it so that I can understand what the fuck Yonks is talking about when he's talking about IRAs. Because
Yeah.
I don't have an IRA.
Yeah, neither do I. So,
Yeah.
so his in so let's back up just real quick. Just
Yeah, we
so
could back up to Fleek.
yeah, right. So does he his goal is to bring my RA fund is he trying to bring it public? Is that what he's trying to do?
So,
Give me your viewpoint of what he's trying to do with my RA fund.
oh, that's good that you asked because I got a Google Doc for that. So,
The
this is all.
been populated.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What'd you ask?
So I'm just kind of curious what your 2 cents are, what he's trying to build, and I'm trying to see what the value add is and the return on investment. That's it.
Gotcha.
Like, what is it that we're building? Why? I mean, I
So,
understand
so
why we're building it, but
the this is
what
my
is this?
this is my Google
What is
Doc.
this MyRA fund going to do? I,
Yeah. So
I assume.
This is my Google Doc library that agents have access to. I can give agents and assistants access to this Google Doc library. They can read, create, and manage these Google Docs. And it's public, so I can give you a link to this if you want it. But so the phases of
Yeah.
development, right? This is what you're asking. So in where did it go?
Yeah, that's the one he
Oh, here
keeps
we go.
updating every time we have a meeting, right?
Do what? Well,
That's the one he updates every time we have a meeting.
no. So I've his uh this is my version of his Google Docs because my version
Okay.
I want accessible to the public and to the agents. Okay. So I'm hoping this is a much better or onboarding document and structure than his. So
Hmm.
essentially, I got links to the resources. Here's some tasks, yada yada yada. So essentially we have four phases. We have pre-launch where we're designing and planning to get ready to offer things to a community, a gated community, and some we're going to roll some products and services out over these three phases, right? So, first off,
And that's specifically to the IRA fund.
yes. So, the
Okay.
My IRA community, its goal, its value proposition is that you subscribe to the project content, you can participate in decisions that affect the final MyRA product, and you can begin learning about IRA laws, regulations, Web3, and AI.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you can think of it
Yep.
more like a
Yep.
club, right? It's more like a
Yeah.
club, and we're helping folks plan for their retirement. Our ideal customer or community member is somebody who has huge gains in random cryptos and they have no idea how to make sure that they capture that value and put it into their retirement, right? Because
Okay.
they've made money in crypto and now they have no idea how to take those profits, buy more stable assets, and put it into a retirement account and get those tax benefits.
And avoid, yeah, the tax benefits. Yep.
Right. This is the main thing. Hey, you're not getting any kind of benefits on your crypto. The, you're at risk to the volatility. This is how you can transfer those assets legally and in a compliant way to your IRA, and you can self custody it as well. Well, as much as possible, the country allows you to.
Let me ask you a
So,
question. So, has anybody done this already?
um, there are 6 crypto IRAs. They are geared more towards addressing the professional that's well steeped in finance and or crypto.
Okay.
Um, our community will be creating its own products, and we hope that our customers will appreciate having a community layer that does not just the product but helps with the education and the
And
learning.
investing probably too, right? Like, because the IRA on the back end gets funded, or to maximize its growth, it's being turned over and invested, right?
That the investing is has nothing to do with the first 3 4 phases.
Okay. All right.
You're not
It's
wrong
just, hey,
that you got a really good setup for a future product, right? But
yeah,
we might just teach you about how to find your own agent, or we might develop our own agent, right? We don't know what the space
yeah.
is going to be even by the time a year from now when we get through these 3 launches. Now, the ultimate end product is that members of the community who have paid to subscribe to the community get access to the first product. It's going to cost $5,000 for the setup, and you're going to have to put at least $5,000 into the IRA in order for it to be a valid IRA. So, you
Okay.
know, that now there has been little in the way of documenting whether or not that's an appropriate setup cost. It doesn't sound unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's why I'm working on this business model. Part of that is to kind of identify those gaps and fill them in. But
Okay.
just to say, so what what's happening between now and that product that's only available to members, right? So you got to subscribe in order to get access to this product. Maybe once it's gone through some testing, it's completely available to the public and you don't have to subscribe to the community. It's just like an added benefit to getting set up through us.
Mm-hmm.
But so before then, the phase we're designing and preparing for now is the alpha phase. And the goal is to launch the alpha phase with being able to offer 100 people a lifetime subscription, 1 year money back guarantee, or a grand total of $200 to subscribe to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Gated
Yep.
community, $200 to subscribe. First year, we're going to have this on a blockchain, right? Like we're probably going to be using unlock protocol, yada, yada. But fundamentally, you're subscribing to a community. The community creates the content that keeps you engaged and brings you into the community to begin with. And then the second phase is once we've identified those first 100 people and all the lifetime memberships are sold, we launch into the second phase, which is just a yearly subscription for the next 100,000, for the next 1,000 people, $97 a year, $100 a year. So,
Okay.
but that's a yearly fee, right? And so if you got in the first phase, you're not going to have to pay this yearly fee. After 3 years go by,
Right.
you know, and hopefully our by then we've proven that we can create that content, that we can onboard people, we can help them understand using the tools that we do. And then once we have those 1,000 people, we should hopefully by then have the final product, right? We should have
Mm-hmm.
a launchable product, our own application.
Okay. Follow you.
Yeah,
Now, so at that point, people are able to roll their when are they able to roll their money into the IRA?
probably in phase 2.
Okay. And so that would be phase 2 launch. Okay.
The final stage.
Um, right. So what is the
Yep.
ROI for the founding members?
The the founding members NFT is different. Well,
Explain NFT for real quick.
the founding members, it sounds like is $200. That's
Yeah,
different. That's different than so
1,000.
your return on investment is it worth for you $200 to learn how to custody your, you know, and set up your own IRA with your crypto assets? That's
Yeah,
different
I would
from
say.
those of us that are building in the early stage now.
Right, right.
We're trying to figure
Um,
out the business plan so that we can start paying, paying for work to be done. Because right now the main thing is we can't create the. We've identified how much content we want to create, and we've identified with some AI tools ways to create that much content, like with minimal cost, but it's going to be cost. Nobody's going to create that
mhm.
content for free.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sweat equity,
And
right?
so
So,
he has what's called the ambassadors program, which is essentially the future marketing department for all of his projects. Right?
okay. Well,
But
I should be an ambassador because I know tons of people and tons of different projects they can bring to the table.
yeah,
Like I have ideas.
all of us right now are technically ambassadors, unless I think there's unless you actually get on the board that's running the checkbook and
Mhm.
are helping with that.
Well, he talks so damn fast I can't keep up with him. He's,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on Ritalin or Adderall or what, but I'm like, slow down a second. And I haven't had a chance to. I mean, when I talk to him normally, like off streaming and off of a web, um, I can slow him down a little bit, but he's just going 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
I'm like, drink more coffee there, bro. But it's all good. I mean, I've known him for a long time. So, I'm I'm trying to think of
Oh,
the
is Lotus here?
yeah, I thought I heard her.
I didn't even notice. Hello, Lotus.
So
All right,
I'm
so that's
wondering, so for the
does that make
so
sense?
okay, hold
Because
on.
it took me
It
a
does make
couple
sense.
weeks to be able to like figure that out and then to like put it succinctly.
Yeah, I'm a weekend too. Yeah, and I'm a weekend and I'm learning tools that like I've got homework, like a ton of homework to do so I can catch up. And I'll do that. And now I have some downtime, so I really like shit, man. I've been building a motorcycle for the last, couple months. So I'm done. I finally finished it. So now I have time to focus on this.
well,
Um,
well, let's build this Eliza.
so yeah, let's do that. I
Build
like
that
building things.
so you can see how essentially an onboarding agent is everybody is going to need an onboarding agent, right? So all we're doing is creating our
Right.
own community onboarding agent that can explain the whole Google
So we
jargon.
don't have to do it.
Well, so we
Yeah.
have to
So
do
we don't
less of
have to
it,
do it.
right? We can
Right.
focus more on appropriate human interaction and yeah, when we're sleeping, the bot can take care of the questions, right?
Right. Gotcha.
The bot can help manage follow-up emails but based off of questions. Like you could personally, like we're doing, go do a one-on-one, walk through some tools, learn something, but then the bot's going to follow up with questions and it's going to have the transcript from our session and it's going to have knowledge maybe of all the other questions you asked before you even had the one-on-one. So
Hmm.
So, so that's just to say that I copied the bio. I used the chat GPT or whatever to expand and create the details that we're gonna eventually put in here. And so we're using the open AI. Now we got a choice here. We can decide what clients are gonna be available in um, our new bot, and we are just gonna do right now
And this
Twitter.
is an agent. Is
Yep,
this an assistant or an agent?
agent. It's gonna be an onboarding agent, but it's mainly gonna know our interior documents, but it's gonna have the ability to do much more as it grows up. But
Okay.
we want it to communicate with people in Discord, Twitter, Telegram, and GitHub. Uh, more these are basically just little snippets of code. And so, as more and more people develop plugins for more and more social media platforms, you'll you'll see more of this where it's just a list, of like, boom, I want my agent to do this, this, and this. So this gets into the plugins. Now,
Mhm.
this is the new thing. This is definitely what you could not do until just recently. And so Um, we're gonna add some plugins. We're gonna add the Eliza OS plugin that allows for storing data and using the OG protocol within the Eliza OS ecosystem. Okay, the main reason why we're doing that is because this is an Eliza agent. We want it to be able to communicate with, especially people, the agents on that platform.
All right.
We could add some stuff, some different blockchains. Um, the
Those are
auto
all blockchains, those plugins, or what?
Yeah, Aptos. Some of these are things I've never even heard of before. Um,
Yeah.
like this Alora seamlessly empowers Eliza agents with real-time advanced self-improving inferences from the Alora network. So I want to do some more. My next research project is actually researching all these little plugins that I don't know. But
Right. Right.
it gets into some plugins that'll actually start making sense. But you can see a plugin here for the Avalanche network, the Binance platform, We're going to add the Coinbase plugin so that this thing has access to Coinbase and things on the Base protocol.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a trading bot, so we really don't need it to have a plugin for CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. Um, I do a lot of stuff on Cosmos, so a lot of DeFi and staking. So we're gonna be able to test this Cosmo plugin and
What does the DeFi acronym mean? Sorry.
decentralized finance. So DeFi is so on a centralized exchange.
Decentralized finance. Okay.
Yeah, a CEX, CEX is centralized exchange.
Yep.
DEX is a decentralized exchange. On a centralized exchange, the exchange coordinates market makers so that every time you buy and sell, there's always somebody there to buy and sell. If not the market maker, if somebody other than the market maker isn't there to buy or sell, the market maker will buy or sell it from you. The market maker makes money by providing liquidity for us, the user. Okay. The market makers own the
Mm-hmm.
liquidity and they get benefits from the exchange for managing the liquidity. And they manage it in a way that they don't care whether it goes up and down. If it goes up too much, they'll bring the price back down and balance out their losses and gains as the markets fluctuate. Their goal is to always um,
Make a
keep the
profit. Yeah.
market moving. They really don't make money based on the direction that it goes. Just as the more people that can do more transactions, the more money they make. So in DeFi is essentially smart contracts where you can put in tokens or assets and you become the one of the many that are providing liquidity to an automated money market maker, meaning it's an autonomous it manages the liquidity profile and gives you rewards essentially from either fees or maybe a project wants to incentivize people getting into the pool. But essentially, when you're in DeFi, that means that you are providing liquidity to a pool. When people trade that token that's in the pool, you earn a little bit, a yield from the fees that platform or pool generates. And so instead of a middleman being the market maker, in DeFi, you get to be the market maker and you get a yield, a return for being that market maker. So DPIN is decentralized
Okay.
physical infrastructure. Think about weather stations. Okay. Right now, most of the weather stations on the market, you buy a weather station, you put it in your backyard, use pay and
Okay.
subscribe to a network, and you give
Copy
that
that.
network,
Cool.
right, your weather data. In DPIN, I would actually own that weather data. I would own that instrument. I would share my data with a network who brings value to the network by, maybe selling products and services and using your data so that you'll get, every time they have a business solution that uses your data, because you're the one creating the weather data, you somehow earn from running a weather station in your backyard. You can imagine all kinds of use cases in supply logistics, but the coolest use case is my laptop. My laptop right now has extra GPU power because we're not doing anything too rough. We're not playing any video games. And so right now, this is mining.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is
I'm
mining
spinning.
A AIOZ, Filecoin, Golem, LivePeer, Mysterium, and Sentinel while we're talking. And this is physical infrastructure
Yeah.
Decentralized, somebody, this particular company is using AI to figure out what tokens you can mine on your machine and whatnot for you. So we're gonna do a DPIN plugin because we just don't know what kind of office structure that we're gonna want our agent onboarding agent to interact with. Well, also I've been wanting to test out
So that's
Flow.
it. So is that you have all that equipment at your house,
I mean, I have,
or are you doing this on your laptop
I'm doing it on my laptop.
with your extra GPU?
Yeah,
Oh, you cracked
it's
me up.
not
What kind
even
of
hot.
laptop?
It's not even hot. I've
What kind of
tested
laptop are you running?
just a Asus gaming computer, Omen gaming computer, gaming laptop, mid grade,
Oh,
NVIDIA
you cracked
G4.
me up.
Yeah, so this is what I do.
Oh,
I
so you
actually
got an
test
NVIDIA chip.
I test and research in particularly mobile solutions. So when I talk about blockchain and Web3 and AI, I'm looking at it through the lens of a refugee or a community of refugees, and what type of infrastructure do they need and can they use in a situation where they may be stuck and or mobile because they're fleeing natural disaster. So let's get through these. Anyway, Flow. One, I've been trying to test out some stuff on Flow, so we're gonna add Flow. Uh, ICP also, I test stuff on there. Near Protocol is cool and user friendly. Hmm.
Is it here? Or is it you?
Did what? Mic check. Mic check. I'm not getting any notifications about my bandwidth. It could be Google.
I'm
We've
hearing
noticed.
lag. I don't. I think your G.
I can turn it
You're
on.
not even hot right now.
No, it's not even warm. It barely runs. Um,
I think I'm locking up.
it could be. We've noticed that Google Meet has this experience, so it could just be Google Meet. But I'll turn that off just in case, because it could be using my RAM. But so we're testing stuff on Solana, so we're gonna add that plugin. Now, mic check, mic
That's
check.
fine.
Um, So let's get through these. Solana.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, we want this. Let me get rid of some of this too. Let me. Am I in a? I am. I'm in a voice channel on Discord too. That's probably what's doing it.
I'm here.
Yeah, it's
Can you hear
probably.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now that I closed Discord. I was in a voice channel on Discord still. So we want to create content and media because this is an intern. So we're going to we're going to allow it to try some 3D modeling, connect to the story protocol, do image, NFT, and video creation. We also want it to be able to organize notes well and um, manage our Git book, which is kind of like a wiki. Um, the I'm
I think
gonna
it's me.
Well, I can hear you better for sure, but I don't know what this node thing is, but node.js plugin provides essential services and file operations, so we're going to include that. We're going to we
Okay.
need we need a trusted environment. This is what TEE is, a trusted execution environment. This allows your agent to have private keys and keep them private. Also, in a trusted environment, is probably easier to execute, payment transactions for things. Twitter, we want our agent to be able to search the web, check weather, and create GIFs. Bam. All right. So now we write the bio. So we're going to ask.
Yeah.
Let's see. We are going to try to copy this. All right. We're going to ask Deep GPT to expand, help us with our bio. What are some other characteristics that a social media intern may have? Here is its bio so far. And we are gonna put these 3 into here. What is there anything else we can think of? We know that this is a bio for an.
You're gonna paste in your.
Do what? So it's giving you the rationale for what it's thinking about doing. And it remembers that we're talking about a kangaroo here too, by the way. Boom.
Oh man.
Right.
So you could actually create a bio from. So you could actually take a here and create. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I also I quit my video thinking that it was my end.
So we're just gonna add. So it by it'll give you 3 by default, but these
Oh, I got one
agents,
for you.
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Do tell.
Hold on. Come on, man. Oh. I think this is. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm holding.
So crazy. Dang. Here, I'll put it, paste it again. Stupid thing. It did it twice. Fucking echo. Okay, here you go.
In
Hey, check your chat. You'll like it.
in
There's a
in
demographic.
on YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah, do you see chat? Yeah,
Terry Tate.
there you go. Yep.
What do you want me to do with this?
Have you seen this?
No, but I don't want to play it on the stream because I'm
Just
keeping
enjoy
the.
it.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so
Okay,
we
sounds good.
we've expanded on the bio. We got a much richer bio here, and we're even
Yep.
letting it know that it fidgets with its pouches. She fidgets with pens in her pocket protector or adjusts her hat. Right now, we haven't tied it in anything graphical yet, but you can do that. So now we'll say, make up a funny, make up 5 different legends about this robotic kangaroo intern. Oh crap. So, not paying for deep, right? So, it's not we'll go to this is why I just use ChatGPT. I pay for extra ChatGPT so I can use it endlessly. But when you're using the free stuff, you can only ask it so many questions. So, we'll ask Quinn, make up some legends about a robotic kangaroo social media intern. So you can see like it is not giving you any uh but we can take this whole story and you can see here they got very simple uh
Yeah, you can
thing.
blow it up.
Best friends with R2D2. We'll say RKDK. Uh, and instead of serving diplomatic missions across the galaxy, we'll say it has served as intern in various diplomatic missions across the galaxy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the legend of oh the anxious heroine. We'll add one more. All right, and you've actually given it like quotes too. Like when you give it famous quotes, it, it'll do these quotes
Mm-hmm.
in conversation. So
That's funny.
yeah, so you can see this really gives you the ability. You can also tell it to not do things like not ever use capital letters. Um, you can Eliza agents are known for by default not using capitals and not using emojis.
Hmm.
Just by default out of the box. That's so knowledge. This is really like so when your agent is if you ask your agent to do something, you got to ask, does it have the skills and the knowledge base to do them? And we got 5 simple topics here. Say, what are 10 must have um what are 10 things that all onboarding agents need to know. Uh, so the one thing we'll come back to this maybe,
Interesting.
but let's see. What are the 10 most essential areas of knowledge that an onboarding has to have? So, organizational behavior, organizational structures, uh, online office tools, policies, and procedures. Um,
Hours of operation.
yeah, usually things here too, you're putting in things like if you want it to have a background in um, philosophy, you can put that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Um, communication norms,
So
nonviolent
you could get it to talk. I wonder if you could get it to talk slang.
You would put in like Urban Dictionary.
Bubonics or something.
I think just the Urban Dictionary would work.
Yeah, yeah.
um, training and development.
Interesting.
Um, we needed to know about incentive structures. Uh, how to accept feedback and self-evaluate.
Yeah.
um,
Man,
and
you
then
just go on forever.
team dynamics. I mean, this is the thing about code, right? So I I started small when I was doing this. So because what you want to be able to see before you start getting really complex, which this is arguably a little too complex for the beginning, but you want to be able to when you're communicating with it, right? This is why you got to like talk to these things. You got to ask it dumb questions. You got to try to ask it repetitive questions in different ways so that you can tell when you create an agent that's supposed to know about your company or your organization, you got to figure out, where it's drawing it's like your agent isn't going to give you its reasoning like deep think did, right? that's
Mm-hmm.
that's unique to deep think. You can ask it how it came up with this. So another thing that really helps your agents, especially being able to learn from conversations, is giving it message examples. The more message examples you can give it, the better it will be. And remember, in these message examples, there are 20 to 35 onboarding questions for any organization. So fundamentally, I keep track of this in a spreadsheet, but all these questions, are there any notable case studies or success stories? What are the primary customers or clients? What services get are offered? Where's the headquarters? What's the history? What's the mission, vision, values? What job opportunities? What perks? What
That's
collaboration?
cool.
Right? Like, and I just asked ChatGPT what the most common questions for onboarding is, and it spit out 50 questions. So now I got 50 questions that I
That's
gotta.
cool.
Now, once, right, for all 20 projects of Yonce's, these 30, 45 questions need to be answered. Some of them, if they don't have any job opportunities, offer, obviously that's an easy question to answer. If it's not a public IPO, right, it's easy question to like answer. Um, so, but right, there's these basic onboarding
So
questions.
you just copy and paste that in there?
Well, let's, yeah, boom, boom. If somebody asks, what does the organization do? We want to say, ah, oh my, of course. Remember, this is like a C3PO, right? It's kind of fidgety. So, oh my, of course. I would be more than happy to assist. Though I must warn you, the probability of completing. So, this is the answer to a different question. Um,
Mhm. So you can fill that in.
yep. So, though I must warn you, we do a lot. Or we'll say they do a lot. Or we'll say we do a lot. Shall we proceed? Right? And then, yeah,
Yep.
okay. You could say, uh, what's
Are
the
those just a bunch of if then else statements, basically?
no, well, it depends on, it's not even if then yet. This is just the user asked this, and then it gives you the ability to write a kind of general response, but also bring the character of the personality into that response. Like,
Yeah,
notice,
I'm surprised that some companies don't utilize stuff like this. It's very generic. It's very like some of them I hate because they're just not informative, you know?
those are chatbots.
Right.
Oh dear, oh dear. I am fluent in over 6 million forms of, let's see, or 6 million forms of problem solving. Perhaps X.
Oh, you could have a lot of fun with this thing.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, so, you know, we are all about using hashtag AI for good, right? Now let's go to Chat GP. Let's go to Quen again. Use up my free. Uh, what are some sample onboarding? Some example onboarding questions, and how might they be answered by a nervous and overqualified intern, right? Uh,
Have you ever done a
Overqualified.
sarcastic agent?
Yeah, no, you can totally do that. So on the
I know.
yeah, so the me.fun, you can really is very similar. You can,
That would be
so
funny. People might be more engaged in some sarcasm, you know?
yep,
Like, what? It said what? I can't believe that. Then they're like, oh, I want to know more. You know, if you entice someone to play with it, you got them. You're hooked, right?
I think so.
If you make them laugh, yeah.
So Yeah, right. Like the problem with the chatbot over the years and the robo phone calls that we're all used to is that there's no they're talking at us, right? And most people don't like um what tools or software are you familiar with? That's funny. There we go. Du-du-du. Oh boy, where do I start? Yes, pretty much every tool out there. Okay, so we got some stuff, and again, right? Like I didn't have to generate
So
this
is
whole
this
sentence.
is this like building an LLM?
No, it's using the OpenAI LLM, this agent. This
Okay.
is
Yeah.
building the personality that has the behaviors. The LLM is just the ability to understand human language. If you remember, most interactions with computers is code,
Yeah.
right? And at very specific languages. And for the most part, they've gotten more human friendly over the years, but right, like
Right.
it's computer code. We've had computers have literally been dumb. You can as and they're only as intelligent as the language that you're using to communicate. And
Yep.
and what do we do?
That's a well put.
Right? And then what do? We connect computers together in networks. And so all agents are in the a is a defined set of behaviors and skills and the ability to do different things based on its skills. So
Huh.
yeah.
Do
And
you know what's funny is my buddy, he will he will write a text message to his girlfriend and then he cuts and pastes it into ChatGPT and says, "Hey, can you make this sound more friendly?" Or "Hey, can you make this sound more inviting?" And then he sends it to her. And I'm like, you know what? In a year or two, you're gonna end up in an argument with her, and it's gonna come out, and you're gonna be like, "Well, yeah, you've been having a relationship with AI for 2 years,"
uh,
you know.
so now we're doing some post examples. Uh, Give me 5 examples of uh, our intern and what they might post. Give me 5 different and what they might post. Currently, they are working for the AI agent dot Vox community.
What the heck did you put between post and currently?
Period.
Oh, I saw it. Thought I saw something. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good.
It looked like a character for a second. I was like, "What is that?"
All right, and then I've given it a little bit of information about the AI.box community so that it uses that in its example posts. And we'll say, add another one.
It's interesting. So you're using AI for not only the questions but the answers.
Mm. Well, these are just post examples, but yeah, and
ChatGPT,
for
yeah,
anything, you know
yeah,
how long it would have took me to type all this stuff out that we've talked about so far,
right,
right? And it's gonna I know what I want. It knows how to do what I want.
right.
Style. All right, we'll keep the style the same. We don't really, unless you have an idea of a style that we want to add to it.
Um, let me see.
You know, what's your favorite
Formal, proper.
music,
Uh,
or
oh,
you know,
uh,
does
oh,
it
I
like
like Stone
Dev,
Temple Pilots.
Stone
Stone
Temple
Temple
Pilot?
Pilots. Yeah.
So what style of music is Stone Temple Pilots? Like grunge rock, alternative rock, or grunge?
Probably Red Hot Chili Pepper too.
So loves hard rock, psychedelic rock, and even classical rock influences.
Cool.
Chat, we'll keep this the same, but like this is where you would be like, it's sarcastic, it's an asshole, but it quickly gets you the information that you need, you know, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Like Koa, if you've seen anything that Koa's written that I've posted, Koa isn't statistics minded. It uses musical metaphors to explain things.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a koala that just this helps people understand markets and plays a harmonica. Well, it's not.
The
It's the
high note sell,
well, it's
low
the
note buy.
right. Like so, I like to think in like base concepts, and so essentially, Koa right is if I can get people interacting with Koa, they can see what it's like to experience communicating with an agent that is always trying to protect them, that is always warning them, that is always, you know, conservative, that's always trying to take FOMO out of the discussion.
Huh.
Yeah, and it will give you a little bit of information to its goal is to explain things simply. And so it gives you little bits of information at a time and asks you if you want more information. So
Hmm.
it won't be like deep seek and just be like brain dump. Now you're reading
Yeah.
something.
Not not barfing on you.
Hmm. Again, I understand like, okay, what do you need in a financial advisor? You need something fun. A koala's fun. Harmonica, everybody loves jazz and harmonica. Like,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're safe. They're, you know, whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I write blog posts, I do the research with one agent, and then I have the koala rewrite that and then add its narrative and musical metaphors.
That's cool.
Right? I can do that. Post formal educational protocol focused, slightly worried, statistical. Topics, list of subjects the character is interested in, knowledge about, used to guide conversations and generate relevant content. Helps maintain character consistency. Star Wars. What else is Star Wars? Star Wars. Star Trek.
Yeah.
What's the
Oh,
masterpiece? Uh, what's the Doctor Who?
I could give you something, but it's government related. It is public.
Doctor Who.
I'm wondering if it would do anything. What is this doing? Let's see topics. That's more
Th-
government oriented.
well, yeah.
How?
This is just topics that drive the character, and our character is a robot modeled after
Yeah.
C3PO.
Yeah.
And it's a
Lost in
kangaroo.
Space. Yeah, Lost in Space. I like the Doctor Who one.
And because I'm always thinking Aboriginal,
I wonder what the Twilight Zone would do.
I think Twilight Zone's outside the scope of. I mean, it would just add it, but I don't think it's very Aboriginal.
Yeah.
Any other more sci-fi? Like it could be vampire lore, right?
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Oh, battle. Yeah, we'll do Battlestar Galactica.
I miss that show. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. So the other thing is now ethics. I always try to just bring in ethics. So like my Penelope agent that helps people with NFTs is an environmental activist.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so Aboriginal Australia, it's kangaroo, so it's got to know about Australia and the Aboriginal people of Australia as well. Adjectives: proper, meticulous, anxious, diplomatic, protocol minded, formal, loyal. Again, since we did so much up here, right? And we don't know yet how
Hmm.
it's gonna relax. I want to keep this part simple, right? Because so now we've created the background of the AI. We can so um boom boom. So here is where you would put in the secret key information. So
Hmm.
I would get my OpenAI key, which I'll do this not on the stream, but I'll get this going after. Twitter username, password, email. Now, and this actually stores stuff in a .env file so that when stuff goes to GitHub and whatnot, that it will not be shown in the code, right?
Right.
Um, and I'm probably and so if you don't have this stuff in here, it's just blank, and then it can't communicate on these networks. But this is if I want it to talk to, I gotta learn. I gotta ask ChatGPT, how do I get a Solana RPC URL? Is that just the like adding network kind of thing? But if I want it to have a wallet, right, I can give it the secret key of a wallet that helps it derive its private key, and then this thing has an agent. It's using the Allen for voice. This is a common.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's just all kinds of like default generic voices.
Right.
You know, you can look for different models and switch them up.
Hmm.
Like this should be um, a female.
It's female in nature. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if ChatGPT can find me. Can you find me the name of a female voice to include in my Java script file? It knows what an EMB file is. Certainly. There we go. Let's try Jenny.
So that's Java, huh? It spit it out in Java.
Yeah, if you notice, it said JavaScript up here, I think. Actually, I don't know if it's JavaScript or not, but I, like I said, I'm not the, whoops, there we go. Oh crap. Let's not have all these. I don't care that they're missing. I don't want to put them all in right now. All right, let's go back. Ah, are you kidding me? All right, so instead of, so we're just gonna do Twitter. We're gonna keep everything default, and then I'll update this all later. I didn't know I was gonna need all that information for this.
A key and all that. Yeah.